Well, hi, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal, and we are live on a Friday evening, which means it's time for us to talk about coping with life, and particularly talking about coping with life on a tight budget. Tonight, I'm going to talk also about some health benefits from eating cranberries. And the reason that that subject has come up is because I'm trying to work through some of the things that I put away in the larder when we had the pandemic start. I filled up my larder with all sorts of things. Hi there, Jody. And now I'm trying to work my way through it. And two things that I found that I thought I need to find a recipe that I can use these up. Number one was I found cranberries. And number two, I found a bag of corn flour. And I don't use corn flour very much, so I started this week using it in different ways. And tonight I thought we would try making a very healthy for our body cranberry and lemon muffin, and that I can have as a quick breakfast if I want it one day, or a quick snack during the day, knowing that cranberries are good for me, knowing that lemon is good for me, and that corn flour is a whole lot better than white flour. And as you will see, it does have regular flour in it, but not very much. And so therefore, we can sort of make amends. The other thing is I'm going to show you how I make my things without oil. So whenever I see that it wants me to put in oil, I substitute it. And I don't know whether you guys do the same thing. Do any of you do that? It's interesting to me to find out. And hi, it's good to see you. Because, it's a very simple thing. Yes, to use applesauce instead. Really good idea. So there are lots of ways of getting around stuff. And I haven't put oil into my cakes or my cake mixes or anything like that. Even my box mixes, I don't put oil in anymore. So just so that you know, it is possible. Rather than put that much oil into our system, let's try and not have it. However, I wanted to just take a second to talk about cranberries. Now, Jody is an expert on cranberries. I know that because she needs to be. And the reason is because Jody knows that cranberries are really good for detoxifying the liver. And it is said that cranberries are considered to be a super food, one of those superfoods. You remember I showed you I was making sprouted seeds, all right, that I eat every day in my pita instead of a lettuce now. I put in sprouted seeds, another superfood. Really easy to do. And I've got quite a bit in. It's dripping. Yeah, it's a bit like me, a bit of a drip. Anyway, I'm really excited because I realized that the taste is a lot like a mustard flavor. Obviously, it's got some mustard seeds in there, and so it's wonderful to have on my pita. I normally have a couple of pieces of lettuce, small ones, and then I add in, you know, um, the sprouted seeds on top of the cheese. So really tasty. And you're going to see something you don't often see. You're going to see me actually measure stuff. And the reason I'm going to measure it, because I've never done this before, so I have no idea what it's meant to look like. I'm not going to manage to read the recipe properly and do it properly because I will change it along the way. That's who I am. But I thought, I know Jody's going, what? Measure? Well, just so that you can see that I do, until I find out roughly how it's meant to look, then, then, let me try it that way. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually make the muffins because they're going to take a while to cook. How long do they recommend? Let me see here. Dum 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 dum. about 20 to 25 minutes once we got it all put together. So that's what I thought. So let's do that. So the first thing I've got is a big bowl. And I got a lemon out of my deep freeze. Now, if you remember, whenever I see lemons on sale, like 3 for 1, 3 for the price of 1, I will buy all 3. Oh, Isabel's asking me, did I find out what the beep was? Yes, I did. The alarm was the beep that you heard, the single beep, if that's what you heard, was my carbon monoxide detector running out of battery, and it was warning me of that. It took me a while to identify that. First of all, I thought it was my freezer, but apparently it was my carbon monoxide. Okay, so when I see a 3 for the price of 1 type deal on lemons, I buy all 3 and I just huck them into my deep freeze like this. And then whenever I want to do a recipe that calls for lemon, where I'm going to cook it, I just pull it out of the freezer. And funny enough, it's really squishy so that it will be really very juicy, which is excellent because we want the juice. They say that researchers link the nutrients in cranberries to a lower risk of urinary tract infection, UTI, for those of you who've ever had that, for the prevention of certain cancers. Could have done with that a year ago. Improved immune function and decreased blood pressure. So all things that we want to maintain. So even if you haven't got those problems, it's a really good idea to start thinking about how are you helping to detoxify your body. And so cranberries, really good for detoxification of the kidneys, and lemon, of course, is anti-inflammatory. So here's another thing that's really good for us. So there are the cranberries. Here's the applesauce ready to go. This recipe calls for, half a bag of sugar, which I'm not going to use. So, I'm going to make a change on that one to start with. So let's see what it says. It says, first of all, we want 1.5 cups of sugar. That's the first thing. And I'm not going to do that because I don't like using sugar. What I've got here is a mix of stevia and brown sugar. So I'm going to put in about 1/8 of a cup. Right? Because stevia is pretty powerful. So that's 1/4 is 1/8. So I'm just going to put that in there. So I've got a little bit, but I definitely don't want to put in a cup and something. Yeah, right. I'm just smushing it up. There we go. And I just mix that up. I put the stevia and the brown sugar into the blender and set the pulse going. And the next thing I know, I've got this. This probably lasts me 6 months, minimum. All right. The next thing it says is we're going to use 1/2 cup of plain yogurt. Well, because I've lowered the sugar, I'm going to use my yogurt that's got vanilla in it. And I know you're saying, yogurt in a bag. For those of you who are not regulars, we do that in Canada. So I'm going to put in, said 1/2 cup. So let's do that. That's 1/4. Sorry. There we go, 1/2 cup. So this is really good. We know yogurt's really good for our digestive system as well. And I buy it like this because I use it in my smoothies. All right, so we've got that in there. The next thing, it says now it says that I need my glasses. Hold on, people. 1/3 of a cup of oil. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually just going to put in all of this. Which is probably about 1/2 cup. So I'll add some more of the dry ingredients until we get it the right consistency. Okay, so there we go. That tastes good because what we've got there is the sugar mixed in with the yogurt is really good. Maybe we'll stop right there. Okay, applesauce. Here we go. So I'm just putting in 1 container of applesauce. This is unsweetened, I think. Yep. One of those. I've already changed the recipe. All right, let's see what we got next, people. 1 large egg. We can do that. We like egg because it is protein. So if ever you watched the original Breakfast at Tiffany's and saw Audrey Hepburn do that at the Cordon Bleu, you need to know I saw that movie and I went, I want to know how to do that. And what I did is I bought an extra dozen eggs just so I could try it. And I reckoned it would take me at least a dozen eggs to get it right. And I did it on the first one. Anybody want to know how to do it? Okay. All right, so you hold the egg in your hand like this, right? Please never ever crack an egg on the edge of something. That is guaranteed to put eggshell into the yolk. Does that make sense? Whenever you go clunk on the edge of something, it actually pushes the eggshell bits into it. So what you do is to do it on a flat surface. I'm going to put 2 eggs in here just because. No, I won't, because I won't crack this one. I'll just show you in theory how it works. All right, so you see I'm holding it here, here, and here. Can you see that? I'm holding it in 3 places. Got it? Now I'm going to crack the egg straight down onto a hard surface. This was my countertop. You heard me do it on. Clunk. And then as I come up, I pull up with this finger and pull up with this, creating the gap here. Did I say that in a way that make me? I've got to do it. I've got to do it. If I get this wrong, it'll probably go all over my. Now, let me move the keyboard away. Hold on a second. Don't think I want egg in my keyboard. All right, so I'm going to not do it. I'm going to do it in the bottom here. I hope that works. So I'm going to cluck and then pull like that. Did you see what I did? Perfect egg. I'm so smart. Now, for those of you who want to really study that, put it back on the replay, put it frame by frame, and you will see I pulled up and out to create that gap for the egg to drop between, like that. Get it? And the reason it's a perfect egg is because I hit a flat surface with the egg, not a sharp surface. That's my phone. So, got it? I hope you enjoyed that. All right, so where was I? 1 whole egg. We got that. I'm probably not meant to put that in yet. I'm pretty sure. All right, now the next question is lemon zest. How many of you actually have a zester? Not to be confused with a jester. A zester can look like this. It's a pain, quite honestly. Yeah, Jody, I'm not surprised you got one. But for those of you who haven't, would you like to know a quick trick on that one? If so, I will let you know. So basically, it says we need about 3 teaspoons of freshly grated lemon zest. Divided we stand. Anyway, so all you basically do normally is to go like this, but because this is not a fresh, oh, it is doing it, but it takes forever. So I don't do that. Ignore that instruction. What I do is, and I'll show you in a second, I gently peel lemons, dehydrate the lemon, and then put it in the blender. So whenever I need lemon zest, I've got it dehydrated. It's going in. A bit more. All right. That was roughly. All right. So how I do it is I take a sharp knife. I just want to show you in principle. I take a sharp knife. That's not my sharp knife, obviously. That way better. And I just literally cut the edge off. You don't want the white so much, the pith. Pith and vinegar. Right, so you just take that off like that. And you all know my poor man's dehydrator. Where is it? It's here. I know I pulled it out. Where did I put it is the question. Oh, it is. All right, so after the broadcast, I will cut lots of little strips like this, put it in a brown paper bag, like that, seal it up like this with a bulldog clip, and then just leave it in. I will leave it up there in my greenhouse window for a week, and I will have perfectly dehydrated lemon peel, just the outside, not the white stuff. Then what I will do is just put that into my magic bullet and turn it into zest. Easy, really easy. I don't know how I ever found out that this brown paper bag thing works, but it works like an absolute wizard. No energy required. In the winter, you can put it on an air vent if you've got one. Or in my case, I just literally left it by a window, and I found after a week it would be dehydrated. But I'll do that after the broadcast. Right, so we've got that. That goes back in the fridge. How many of you use omega-3 eggs? Or omega, depending on which country you're in. How many of you use omega-3 eggs? I really recommend it. It's got better oils in for you. It's all part of... Now, this is from the person that ended up sick this year, but never mind. You get the idea. Right, next thing we need, about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we've still got some of that. I'm sure I meant to do this in a completely different way, but I don't really mind. So I'm going to put in about a teaspoon. There we go. And anything else we need here? Oh, we're about to start the flour and stuff. So we're going to whisk that up first. Put that egg away. All right, let's see if we can find out what the instructions actually say. It's always interesting, isn't it, when you've got halfway through it. Preheat the oven. We're doing that. It says to 400, but I've done mine at 375 because it's an air fryer. Whisk half a cup of sugar, yogurt, oil, egg, and 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. The lemon juice. I didn't put lemon juice in, did I? All right, I want 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. One. Two. If anybody wants to argue with me that that wasn't 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, have it. Just have at it. Part of my fun in cooking. All right, so let's mix that lemon juice in. And here we go with the dry stuff. It says we need to now whisk the flour, cornmeal. Oh, yeah, we've now got the dry stuff. Would have been a good idea if I'd put that in a different bowl. It's never too late in life to make another decision. That smells good already, people, just so you know. All right, that makes it too picky. It's ready. So what do we need? It says we need 1.5 cups of white whole wheat flour. Anybody heard of that? So I thought what I do is about a third each of no, what we will do one. I've got scoops here. This is about a quarter of a cup, I think. Let's find out. A little over. So that's quarter. And we do 2 of that. That's regular flour. I'm going to put in some whole wheat. There we go. Mix that up. Now we've got more goodies that go in. Yeah, Jody says, who wants to buy a 5-pound bag of white whole wheat flour? No, not me either, Jody. Right, exactly. So I've created something that is my version of it. I have no idea if that's how they do it. I don't really care. That's what experiments are for. All right, what else do we need, people? Here we go. We need 1/2 cup of cornmeal, preferably medium or fine stone ground. Didn't check. What does it say? I don't think it told me any of those things. It just is called corn flour. That'll do. How much do we say? 1/4 cup? 1/2 cup. Okay. Oh, what I wanted to show you is I've got it. I've got it in a Ziploc bag. All right, because it falls out with stuff, right? But I've also got some of it in a reused glass bottle. And 1/2 cup? Yep. So two quarters, make a half. Well, they did last time I checked. My question is, which is better for you, cornmeal or regular white flour or whole wheat? Dum 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 dum. I will tell you. I did check it out for you because I knew you'd want to know. Hold on one second. No, wrong thing. First of all, I've got to find it. What did I have it under? Flour, probably. Oh, corn. That's what I had it under. All right, so let's see what we've got here. So first of all, which do you think? Cornmeal versus oatmeal? All right, Jody, of course, knows all these things. She said white flour is so inflammatory to our systems. All right, it's what causes you to bloat and all sorts of things. So what I wanted to do was to start adding more corn flour in. And the thing that I found out was this. Let me just read you this. Cornmeal contains 3.9 grams of fiber, while oatmeal contains 1.7. So if you're looking for more fiber in your diet, use more cornmeal. All right. And it is a much healthier way to go. I also found out something else, but I have to find it for you. Hold on. Wheat flour is high in carbohydrates, we know that, and yellow corn has 71% less carbs than wheat flour. 71% less. All right. And yellow corn has 20. Oh, that's, wait a minute. Wheat flour has 72.5 grams total carbs, where for 100 grams, that's about 3 ounces. And yellow corn has only 21. Isn't that amazing? So wherever you can, think about, what about if I do what Sal's doing, which is to mix some cornmeal in with my flour to make it less carby? Good idea. And you know I'm going to be doing that a lot now. I've already started doing it for my pita bread. So now my pita bread is even more healthy. It's now got a little bit of white flour, whole wheat flour, oats, corn, chia, flax, a little bit of honey. And can I taste the difference? Not so far. Quite honestly, it just tastes like a pita. So I'm happy. If you see me fall flat on my face just now, I dropped some flour or something down here, and it's slippery. I know what you're saying. All right, hang on. It was white flour. Okay, good. All right, it is no more. So did you know that about corn? I didn't. Oh, Izzy likes the outfit. Thank you. It's part of my spring outfit. It was actually my tracksuit that I bought myself for the winter. And then I found out it was thin. I went, okay, that'll do for spring. So there we go. So now we've got all that mixed in. I put the corn in, didn't I? Please tell me I put the corn in. Okay. So what else do we need? We've done corn. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Apparently it's been a while since I've used baking powder. All right, and then baking soda. I don't have baking soda. Or do I? Of course I do. I have bicarb. Same thing. Wherever possible, buy it in bulk. Save a fortune. Don't buy it in a box. Buy it in a bag. Here's the bag. I didn't check the difference, but I can assure you it's well worth it. How much do I want of bicarb? 2 teaspoons, 1 teaspoon of bicarb. I dread to think how long I've had this. not the sort of thing that goes off though. So there we go. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not the sort of thing that goes off in my house. Anything else we need in there? Oh, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, I am a snob about salt. I don't use it very often because of blood pressure things. But when I do use it, I use the Himalayan stuff. What did it say about a teaspoon? Half, 1/4 teaspoon. Oh, more than that. It's probably about 1/4. Does it taste better? I think so. But I think it's psychological, don't you? I do know that one of my viewers wrote to me once and said, would I recommend buying a Himalayan salt lamp? I said, depends how much money you've got. Oh, now we get to the fun part. In case you're wondering, will it ever happen? We are apparently going to take 1.5 cups of cranberries, either fresh or frozen, your choice. But if you get the frozen ones, let them thaw, and coarsely chopped. As it's only 1.5 cups, I think I'm going to do it in my magic bullet rather than... Did you see me put the vanilla in? Yes, I think I did. And we've also got vanilla in the yogurt, so that also helps. All right, so we want 1.5 cups of cranberries. It's red. Remember, eat the rainbow. 1 cup. Half a cup. One of the joys of watching me cook is you always tell what I'm looking for if you watch my hands. You see me go like this. I want the twisty thing. Okay, peeps. Now, they say coarsely chopped. Of course, they will be coarsely chopped. Such hard work cooking in my kitchen. All right, so there we go. That's what coarsely chopped cranberries look like. Second page. We're nearly there. Okay, hang on. We whisk the flour. We did that already. Add the yogurt mixture and fold into that mixture until it is almost blended. Fold. So you just put this in. And you fold it. Now the thing about muffins is you don't want it to be thoroughly mixed. So that's why it's better to fold it than put it in a blender or something. I'm sure that you great cooks will tell me why. I have a feeling it should have a little bit more liquid than this in. Nearly there. Just about done. This is until nearly incorporated, which is what that is. It makes it tough if it's over beaten. Thank you very much, Jody. Jody, does that look a bit dry to you? Kushura? Or is it just Sal having a moment? I've never done this before. Yeah, I think so too. All right, so what I'm going to do is just put in a tad of milk. What do you think? Or I could have put in the other egg. So put in about 1/4 cup of milk. That looks more like a muffin mix to me. And after we've done that, it now looks more like this, all right? So it doesn't look all dry now. But it's not perfectly put together because you don't want it perfectly put together, as Jody says. So now, after that, it says, here's the exciting bit, everybody. Okay. Gently fold in the cranberries. Gently fold in the cranberries. That's a lot of cranberries, people. So if you notice, I'm keeping the bowl at an angle so it will keep dropping to the bottom and then just incorporating them. Does that make perfect sense? I was very gentle. Oh. Next step, divide it into the muffin things. Oh, so exciting. Now, as you may have heard at lunchtime, I've got guests coming tomorrow. So what I thought was, if these taste great, then I will send them home with some. And if they don't taste great, I will freeze them and have them every now and then. So it's not going to go to waste. To waste. Yep. Okay, let's do this. I put the lemon away. Now. And I've got my heart-shaped muffin molds. You can see that. Good. Okay, let's see which one's looking a bit thin on top. That one looks fine. This is like paying mud pies for me. more in that one. And a little bit more in that one. Okay, now we're gonna. Now, this is the time where you get to play a bit. Okay, I am going to put just a little bit of the stevia mix on top. Apparently more than a little. And I've just, what I do is I just take a, what was this? Tomato spaghetti mix thing. And I just punch some holes in the top. And it's ideal. All right, so now we've got that. Anything else we need? Probably tells me if I read the instructions, which you know I'm not good at. So did we do everything? Sprinkle evenly over the top of the muffins. Yeah, right. We didn't do that very evenly. Bake the muffins until golden brown and they spring back lightly to the touch. About 20 to 25 minutes. And I'm going to put it on for 15 and then check it. What I like about my air fryer is big enough to take both of these, I think. I'm pretty sure. There we go. All right. So we're going to put them in for 15 to 20 minutes. We'll see how they go. I put them in for 17. What do you think? We'll check at 17. And if they're golden brown already or a little bit on the crunchy side looking, we'll pull them out. So, quite honestly, not that difficult. Would you agree? And obviously, we could have put in. How many of you go if you had a banana that was turning past its best, mush it up and throw it in? All right. The main thing is to understand that what we're creating here is a protein snack that is not going to do us too much. In fact, a muffin snack that's not going to do us too much harm. All right. And the reason it's not going to do us too much harm is it doesn't have too much white flour in it. It's got, by the way, if you want to, I now grind up my oats, into oatmeal, literally, like that. All right, and I quite often use that now instead of white flour. All the time, I'm looking to use less and less white. All right, that can all go away. We've used all of that. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. We'll clean this off. By the way, for those of you who like my big board, it was one of those things that I really splurged a lot of money on. Like, I think about $20 in Walmart one day. And I thought, it's obviously not going to last long, but because it's from Walmart. But let me get it anyway. It's probably 25 years later and I'm still using it. So, and it has cracked very slightly on the outer edges, but it hasn't cracked. There's a slight crack here and here and here, but it's on the outer edge, not on the bit where I put food. So it's been wonderful. And do any of you put your cutting boards out in the sun in the summer? Any of you who've got Italian heritage probably know that trick. It's a really good idea to clean them in the summer with some salt and lemon, and then rinse them off and put them in the sun. The sun will help bleach them without using bleach. And so once a year, I will clean my cutting boards, and I clean them more than once a year now I think about it. But I do that trick in the sun in the height of summer. All right, let me put this back in the fridge. We don't need the oatmeal anymore. I mean the corn. And the next thing I want to show you is how I am using up other things as well. Just bear with me a second. All right, let me see what I've got here. All right, so I'm going to, I've been watching the tennis from Miami, and my favorite tennis player is, I think, still in the semi-final. Jody, I wonder if you'd be good enough just to check that for me. And so in case he's still playing when we finish the broadcast, I thought I would give myself a nice evening of not any one thing to eat, but lots of little things. How many of you enjoy that, patisserie board type stuff? Charcuterie board. So now what I'm going to do then is to take my board, and the first thing I'm going to think about is I'm going to do a soup and salad. But I won't warm that soup up until the last moment. And I'm a great lover, as you know, of this tomato basil made by Campbell's for a quick, what I call an evening soup. Oh, apparently I like to paint my kitchen with it too. Yeah, well, we get rid of that. So tasty, even cold. It's tasty cold. He's still in. Thank you, Jody. There have been times when I've actually used this as a dip. But it is very thick, all right, as the word bisque describes. So I'm going to put about half a gallon of water. So now I've got a more liquid soup. Now runs off like this. And I'm just going to put this onto a hot plate to warm up a little bit. At the last minute, I will nuke it. And I've put a plate on top of it just so any heat that does accumulate will stay in there. So we're going to have soup and salad. And tonight for salad, what was I thinking I was going to have? I haven't had a colorful salad in a while, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so we'll start off. By the way, if you are on a very tight budget, I really recommend buying those 3 heads of romaine in a packet, and then start with one. And each time you use some of it, wrap it in a paper towel. I know you're not going to want to hear this, but this is probably a month old, and look how crispy it is. Can you hear it? Isn't that amazing? So I hope you can hear it. It's hard to believe, but it's true. And as you know, I just put it in water to see if it decides whether it wants to grow or not. I know what you're saying. I have this one growing in my fridge. It looked just like that one. And it's growing in my fridge. This one was 3 varieties of different lettuces, living lettuce that I bought. And as you can see, it is also growing in my fridge. Why? Lettuce likes cold temperatures. So will it feed a family of 5? Of course not. But it's really nice to take a couple of those leaves and put it in my pita. And I've gone from buying 2 lots of lettuce every week to buying the romaine once a month. And now I buy the living lettuce and try and keep that going as long as I can. The other thing you can do, of course, is you can add other things to it, right? And I've got, some basil that I'm growing here. It's still quite new, this one. Started in my little aero garden, but it's doing well. So really nice to throw. I like basil, so I'm going to throw a little bit of that in. Always tastes good. I'm certain it must be good for you because it tastes so good. And then I'm going to throw in I used to keep my celery in my fridge, but it took up so much room. Now I keep it on my countertop in a container with some water, and this has been going at least a month. And what I'm going to do is take some of the celery leaves to add to the salad, as well as the celery itself. So we'll take some celery leaves, and then we'll take the stalk and cut the end off it, cut the other end off it. There he goes. good. My peppers go in. I don't know how many peppers you eat. I try and eat 3 a week. Why? Lots of color. No, they're good for me. It's good. Put those back in the fridge. All right, so we're going to have some deep green with the broccoli. Don't need too much of it. Just a couple of florets will be great. This is some zucchini. Now I've got a choice. I can either make large bits of zucchini like this, which I occasionally do, or I can use my other one, which makes very fine strips. You probably can't see that because they're all stuck together, but they actually doesn't want to go into strips for some reason. Never mind. Right, then take my carrot, do the same. Yeah, this must be my old one that doesn't do strips anymore. But that's just fine. All right, how many colors have we got? Quite a few, right? All right. Yeah, I want to tell you, the smell of those muffins in here is really good. So, and to make it fun, I'm going to take a few chow mein noodles. We put the crispy in it. Doesn't need much, does it? Just a little bit. And then our discussion for today is cranberries. So, and if you want it to be really decadent, and I do it every now and then, cranberries and then mandarin oranges. Really nice. And there we have a very colorful fresh green salad, mixed salad, rather. They're looking good, people. I would say done. A little bit sticky. Okay, I'm going to put it up for, what do we have, 17 minutes? I'm going to put it up for another 2. Three. I'm going to turn them around. Because I want to check how the other, yeah. The others are fine. That's interesting. Okay. So I think you can see the ones that were at the back are now done on the side of crispy. So I'm just going to take these out, and as they continue to cook in their heat, they should be fine. I could also have put orange in there. That would have been nice as well. All right. I'm finding put different things into your muffins. Muffins are not necessarily bad for you. Depends how much you put into them that's healthy. What if you put almonds in there, right? We know that nuts are good for you. So you think about it, how can I make it a healthier muffin? So now you will remember a couple of weeks ago, I bought that ham and sliced it. And I saved a fortune of money doing that. I want to tell you how much I have enjoyed that. You remember we put it into the freezer in small amounts like this. And the reason they look like this is because I've been defrosting them, thawing them, and I keep them like this so that the moisture, the water runs out into the paper towel beneath here. All right. So because I want to have 3 slices of ham as part of my meal tonight. I think I'm going to need a toothpick. Yep. And the third one. Okay, and let's make it nice and tasty. By the way, I bought a block of cheese and I sliced it up with my slicer. Worked really well. Told you I would try that. So now protein, broken protein. It's crumbly, please. Some bits go better than others. Okay. And here is my 3 ounces of dough. I allow myself every day. This one with some corn in it. Here it is. And actually, I'm going to roll that up. And just that. Okay, so I've got it about that thick. Make some room here. Now, what I thought I'd also make this is my very special homemade salad dressing. So I'm going to put a little bit of that here, so at the last minute I can put that over it. Time for me to make some more. And I'm also going to put some in that little bowl. Because I've chosen to have my pita today to dunk it in there. I love dunking bread in oil and vinegar. Okay. So this rest of this ham I'm going to put on top of my mac and cheese tomorrow. Everybody asked for mac and cheese, so I'm going to make mac and cheese. And then I will put strips of ham across the top of it, and then cheese. Grill it. Yum. So we've got protein, we've got salad. We're going to have a pita to dunk. I need a bit more. And how many of you understand that the reason a Mediterranean diet is good is because they do things like they have fresh bread and they dunk it in oil and vinegar? And you're going, when you think about it, when you see the Italians eat, they've always got fresh bread and they've always got an oil and vinegar that they're dipping it into. High grade, I must admit, way better than mine. But so don't think that just because it's a pita bread that it's unhealthy. It's first of all, I'd make my own sourdough, and here is my sourdough starter. It's been in the fridge because I made another one. I've got 2 of them at the moment because tomorrow I will bake fresh bread and makes fresh dough and makes some pitas for people to take home with them. Whenever I have guests, that's what I do. I'll make extra pitas and give them my frozen ones so they can take them frozen and put them immediately into their freezer. And then I just will make myself new ones. Smells so good. And remember, I'm now adding cornmeal in. Yeah, Jody's saying, I love dipping bread into oil and balsamic vinegar as well. Yeah, balsamic vinegar is a staple in my kitchen. Whenever I want to make good gravy, I either put wine in it or balsamic vinegar. Red wine or balsamic vinegar, sometimes both. Okay, so here I've got, a cranberry lemon muffin, but I'm going to have that as dessert, and I'm going to make it a decadent dessert by putting frosting on top of it. I think I should taste it. What do you think? It's going to be a bit hot. Looks great. Not too sweet. Remember, not to make it too sweet. Now, you could slather it with butter if you're into that. But me, I like to use frosting. So what I'm going to do, cream cheese frosting. I cut it into 3. Oh, cranberry. Quality control. Fruit, lemon, cranberries, corn, dessert. That's good. It's Friday night, so I will probably have a second one. You know that. It feels a bit like I'm having the first one as hors d'oeuvre. That is allowed on Friday nights, right? Say yes, somebody, please. Okay. I definitely won't mind sending these home. They actually are surprisingly light. I expected it to be heavier. Crunchy. And altogether well worth the effort. So I had my pita bread in for 5 minutes. but the oven was already hot from cooking the muffins. So they cook very quickly. I've just turned it over, and I'll put it in for another about 3 or 4 minutes. And then I will have my pita bread. Now, I can choose, as I said, to make a sandwich out of it, which I'm not going to do this evening. Or tonight, I'm going to just cut it, just pull it into pieces and dunk it into oil and vinegar. So I've got what I call a pretty varied meal. It'll last me a long time. I've got soup, salad. I've got protein over there. It's good and wet. So how many of you are going, that's, pretty balanced meal, and probably it'll be too much for me, but I'll give it a go. I normally stay up pretty late on a Friday as a reward. I don't know what was there that was wet. Duh. When I took my sprouted seeds, I didn't put them down on something, and so therefore the damp that's in here came out. Got it. Can go there for now. Oh, and that's what I haven't got. I'm now going to put some of the sprouted seeds. You see, God is wonderful. Just reminded me what I didn't do. Put some sprouted seeds on top of that salad. And whenever I feel like it, I take some. So tasty. So I hope you can see okay. Is asking me, can you tell me when you use the cake mix with the egg in it? Yeah, okay, fine. I actually taught my sister to do this as well. Okay, this one's devil food. Watch carefully, it is. One microwavable bowl. This is a ramekin, about 1.5 cups. Take the cake mix. Put about half full. That's about 3/4 cup of cake mix. Is give or take. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's why we needed the extra egg. Take 1 egg. All of it. Okay, is so now you've got cake mix and egg. Put some holes in the yolk of the egg and then mush it around a bit. What I try to do is get as much of that egg worked in before I decide how much more liquid it needs. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm just mixing it up. And as you can see, it still looks pretty floury. Can you see that is? Right, even though I've mixed it quite a bit. So I know I'm going to do it a bit more so you can see. It's now trying to incorporate a bit more, but even so, can you see it sort of like that? We don't want that. Take some milk, whatever milk you like, and I'm going to put in about 1/8 of a cup. It's probably all it needs, or 1/2 a quarter. Now it sort of looks like this for a moment, but I'm just going to mix it up. And again, if you tilt the bowl a little bit, then the extra milk will always be at the bottom. So it makes it easier to mix it all in. It's just taking longer than it normally would, of course, because I'm trying to show you. There you go. So it now looks like this. Got it? Thank you, Jody. Right? Got it? So it's not quite totally runny, but it's not hanging on, holding onto the fork. It's letting go of the fork. That's about the consistency you want, Okay, very difficult, the next bit. I have to wait for the air fryer to stop so that I can do this. But what I do is I'm going to go over to the microwave and put it on for 2 minutes. You're going to be surprised. In the meantime, here is my pita bread, puffed up. And so take a sharp knife, serrated knife. Cut it in half. I don't know why I always have to do this, but show Jody the crumb, because Jody always wants to see the crumb. So I've learned over the years, always show Jody the crumb, so she knows I made good bread. And how many of you can imagine when that's cooled down, how great that's going to be to dunk? So we'll put that on the board. Oh. 20 seconds. Now it can do with about, I'm going to put it in for another minute, just to firm it up even more. Now 30 seconds. You've got to admit, it's fun. Okay. So now I'm going to take the bamboo stick. How's that for a 2.5-minute cake? No oil. Absolutely no oil in it. And I didn't put any fruit in it. Normally I would hack quite a lot of fruit in it. And how many of you know that's going to have frosting on top of it? All right, so do you understand how easy that is? But what I love is I can cook cake this size and put one away. And then maybe tomorrow I decide to put, maybe peaches on top of this and cream or something. All right. Or, I get to choose what I want to do with it. But I made enough for 2 days with half a ramekin of cake mix and 1 egg and a little bit of milk. And if you want to know, can you see it bounces back? You see that? Okay, so it's not hard or solid or anything. It is more dense than a regular cake, but I assure you, you will learn to love it because it's so easy. And 2.5 minutes in a microwave. Play with it. You will get to see what you get to see. If it still looks a bit glossy on top, it means it needs a bit more time. All right. And let me tell you what I put in there is sometimes I put banana in there, sometimes I put raisins in there, sometimes I put banana that's going off in there or whatever. I just load it up with fruit, make it really useful to me. Okay, so everybody, we've got that. We've had the pita, nothing left in the microwave. Oh, heat up the soup. So normally I don't do this, but I'm actually going to have the soup first, and then I will spend the rest of the evening coming back to the kitchen and picking up whatever I want to eat next, right? I'm not going to take the whole lot. Oh, by the way, I will add grapes to this if I need them, all right? But that'll probably be very much later. So the thing I want you to see is that sometimes we can create a really big meal and not need potatoes. And, I haven't even put crackers on there. And I probably won't need them. By the way, I didn't do it, but I was going to do it. And that is to take my cream cheese and put a cinnamon and cranberry topping on top of it, like you would at Christmas. And then use that as a dip for my celery. As you can see, I've still got plenty of celery left. And I've had it for at least a few weeks. And so I'm going to start using this up so that I can buy a fresh one. And I thought, wouldn't that be nice to have like a cranberry cinnamon log? Very easy to do. Just put it on top and then use it as a dip for your carrots or your celery. Hope you've enjoyed today. And by the way, remember why we did this. Number 1, cranberries are good for you. Number 2, Think about substituting about 1/3 of cornmeal instead of flour. Why? It is way healthier for you. Or use oatmeal, about 1/3. In other words, if you've got a cup, if you need a cup of flour, do 2/3 flour, 1/3 either oats or cornmeal. Or do 1/3 white flour, 1/3 whole wheat flour, and then 1/3 either oats or corn. And start playing with it and see what a difference it makes. You'll be surprised that it really just, you know, sometimes you need just a little bit more water because the oats absorb a lot of water. But, you know, basically, it's just a slightly different taste. It's not a huge difference at all. And I haven't noticed it in my pitas. And I've been putting oats in my pitas for the longest time, as you know. And I also put, as you saw, flaxseed and chia seeds in there, along with a little bit of honey. So it makes it good. All right, everybody. I'm going to go and have my soup. But before I go, how do we make the soup decadent? We know it looks good and it's hot. We will take some fresh cream, pop that in. Take a small piece of basil. Difficult for me to get that angle right for you. Can you see that? And now what will happen? The cream will come to the top and the basil will add to the basil that's already in there. So this is DearMamaSal saying, you know, that's going to be really tasty. I'm going to take half that pita bread and probably dip it in the soup. My mother wouldn't like it, but I'm going to enjoy it. We'll see you next week. Oh no, I'll see you on Sunday. This is DearMamaSal saying, where's my mouse? Did I cook my mouse, people? No, there it is. We will see you on Sunday. Bye-bye for now. Thanks for your help, Jody, as usual. And thank you guys for being here.